Well, your affirmation, though, really, to me, is that flight simulator in that. So here's what we have. We have current reality and our vision. So at one time in your life, you had a current reality that you weren't so happy with. I understand that you still aspire for more. That is what it is. But there was a time where you weren't really happy with your situation, and you created in your mind a stronger vision than what current reality was. So what we have is all humans, a conscious, a subconscious, and a creative subconscious. So what we do consciously, we're not really that good at. If it's something that you have to really, really think about, if you were going to land that plane and there was that crosswind or whatever was going on, and you didn't have it down pat into your subconscious where you could do it with half your brain tied behind your back, and you're operating consciously, like counting every breath, there's a good chance that something could go wrong.
Absolutely.
If I told you to walk toe to toe from one end of the room to the other on a bet or for $10, you would do it, no problem. If I put you on a 2-foot wide board and put it between 2,000-foot high buildings and said, go ahead and walk toe to toe for 10 grand, there's a good chance you wouldn't take me up on it. You'd be thinking so much about it, even though the amount of ground that you need for your feet is really the same. You'd have a foot on either side of them. Okay. So the reason, and when I was selling exotic cars, I dealt with a lot of what I call windfall people. Believe me, I dealt with a lot of business people, a lot of people that earned it, who knows? But when I said I dealt with a lot of windfall people, I ran into an inordinate amount of people who won a lottery, got an inheritance, got a baseball contract, sold a business. So what's interesting is even somebody that sold a business, you'd think that they would be more disciplined, but often when they would make, let's say, a good living, a few $100,000 a year, but now all of a sudden they have a couple of million at once, they would have to get rid of that money. So here's what I mean. Battered women, or I guess let's even abused husbands. So abused people in a relationship often go back to that person or to that kind of a relationship. The person who yo-yo diets, who loses weight and puts it back on, or the person, my windfall people, win a lottery, sell a business, get an inheritance, whatever. There's books written and studies done on lottery winners that most of them go broke. The reason is the way the creative subconscious sees them is I'm broke, I'm abused, I'm overweight or unhealthy, whatever. And the creative subconscious, its only job is to keep things the way they are. So the subconscious only records everything, and that's what you're putting in with your affirmation. It only records, it doesn't judge, it doesn't say good or bad. So it could record, I'm so happy and grateful, et cetera, multiple sources, greater quantities. It could be recording that is current reality, but it could also be recording, I don't deserve, I am something negative, I'm always late. It's not judging. It's just recording. And then the creative subconscious has to keep everything the way it is. So when you're doing your affirmation, and I love it, and by the way, I couldn't keep it all down, but you're right, we're recording this, and I will note this because I love your affirmation. The affirmation, and when you said put emotion in it, is the feeling that you have associated with having this.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely. When you keep saying it, you can't help but start feeling differently. And then when you allow yourself, when you intentionally allow yourself to, number one, feel very, very grateful, very thankful, but feel excited that money comes to you in increasing quantities through multiple sources. And the idea that starts becoming fact, you get more and more emotionally involved in a good way, good emotions. Because as you said, your subconscious is not going to judge. If you say you're unlucky and you say it with enough enthusiasm and enough times, you're going to be unlucky. I'm the luckiest person I know, by the way.
Thanks for saying that.